All right, so I'm excited to be joined out here with two of my friends, Elijah and Jonah Bemiss. We're going to talk to them a little bit about the adaptive sleds that are available here at the SOKY Ice Rink for our community to use and enjoy being on the ice. So, guys, I just want to ask you a couple questions. What do the adaptive sleds mean to you guys?
Well, it's always had a big meaning to me because I've been playing since I was 4, playing hockey since I was 4. Joe's always been there to support me. I haven't been able to skate with him until recently.
Sure.
It means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to him too. He's always happy to be out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, Jonah, what's it like getting to be on the ice? How's that feel? Is it fun?
It is fun.
It is fun. Is it exciting?
It does.
It's probably a little bit cold too, right?
Yes.
In 2020, we decided to partner with the SOKY Ice Rink with Warren County Parks and Recreation to try and make the seasonal amenity of ice skating that our community enjoys so much more accessible to people with disabilities in our community.
So our family, we have Elijah, who's the oldest, and Jonah, who's the youngest. And Elijah has been playing hockey since he was 4.
Yes.
And so Jonah has always been a big fan watching Elijah roller skate and ice skate.
He was always his biggest cheerleader.
And so about 3 years ago, they started the adaptive ice sledding.
Elijah, even before Jonah was born, from the time he was 3, would skate around the house in little rollerblades. When Jonah was a year old, we learned that he'd had a stroke and he has hemiplegic cerebral palsy. And so over the years, skating really wasn't something that was safe for him to do, but he was Elijah's biggest cheerleader.
The Bemiss family, I was actually introduced to them through our adaptive sports program. Their son Jonah came out and tried tennis for the first time. I was connected to them also by their son Elijah. I'm able to coach him outside of work at Greenwood in track and field. And so we kind of connected, myself and Allison, and I was like, hey, you should bring Jonah out to try some adaptive sports. And he was so excited to play a sport, to take part in an activity. And those little moments, ultimately are why we do what we do in Parks and Rec, and specifically in the Adaptive Rec Division is for moments like that, where we can help somebody in our community that may have a disability feel like they have something to be a part of. When we got these adaptive sleds and Allison found out about them, I wanted them to be some of the first to try it out. So they came to the rink, and I'll never forget that moment because Jonah had spent most of his life watching Elijah on the ice, but he was never able to be on the ice with him. So the moment that Jonah got in a sled and was being pushed around the ice by his brother, you can't describe it, right? You can't describe what that feels like, because that makes all the efforts that we put in every day in Parks and Recreation worth it. That is the sole reason that we do what we do, is moments like that. To see people not just enjoy something for themselves, but to see a whole family get to see their 2 kids on the ice together for the very first time when Elijah's been skating for 10 plus years is a moment that I'll never forget. And it's also the moment that makes you motivated to continue to try to find ways to create those moments again and be able to tell those stories. Because ultimately, our department in the field of Parks and Rec, we get to tell stories all the time if we're intentional about creating them. And then we have to be vulnerable enough to let them impact what we do so that we're motivated to continue to do it. And that moment, to see the Bemiss brothers on the ice together, Jonah in the adaptive sled, and then Elijah, pushing him around and skating, was one I'll never forget for the rest of my career, for sure. With your brother?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about skating with your brother?
What's your favorite part?
It is fun.
Is it going fast? You like to go fast?
I like to go fast.
But not too fast, right? You got to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Elijah, so when you got to go out on the ice with your brother for the first time, a couple years ago, when we first got these sleds, what were some of the emotions maybe that you felt?
I was so happy to think he could finally join me after all those years of him sitting in the stands. He could finally be there.
Yeah, be on the ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Everyone just really enjoys it, and it's always a positive experience. never heard anything bad about it. Everybody usually has some comment to make about how good it is and how special it is.
Sure. Yeah, and it's really cool, obviously, because something like the ice rink, we obviously know how many people enjoy coming down to the ice, when this is up every season. So the adaptive sleds, of course, make that accessible to a lot more people, and so it's really neat to see them experience that. So I'm sure you get to experience that while working here, which is cool. So, Jonah, is there anything else you want to say about the sleds?
It is fun.
It is fun. Yeah, that's right. Here at Bowling Green Parks and Recreation and in partnership with Warren County Parks and Rec, we've had a decades-long partnership, long before my time with the city, of trying to ensure that recreation, sport, and our parks are something that are available and able to be enjoyed by anyone in our community, regardless of the disability that they may have. We were able to partner up with them on the idea that we could make the activity of ice skating something that anyone could enjoy.
So when this ice rink opened and we learned they were going to have adaptive sleds, it just made a huge difference for our family, because for the first time we were able to see our boys skate together.
Yeah.
And just the thing that Elijah loved most and that Jonah loved to cheer on Elijah, it was just amazing to see them get to experience that joy together when we weren't sure that was something that they would ever be able to do. And we started with adaptive tennis, and it was fun for them to get, especially the adaptive tennis, because it's for all abilities, so our whole family could do it together. And one of the best things about that was we got to meet Cam, and we got to meet the other families and learn about other opportunities and just have fun with families who are in similar situations where typical sports might not work for us. And so we were able to really build a community, which has been great for us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, feels like you're not alone out there.
At the time that we're filming this video, we've actually bought 2 more. So the last 2 seasons, we've had 2 adaptive sleds available. One that's really a little bit smaller, so it's kind of made for children, and then one that's a little bit bigger and able to be utilized by an adult who may not be able to skate on their own or independently. But we purchased 2 more. The demand the last 2 seasons has been pretty high, at the ice rink. Warren County Parks and Recreation and the SOKY Ice Rink Board, Warren County Stormwater, all those folks that make the ice rink possible, they do such a phenomenal job, at overseeing the ice rink and providing that amenity to our community. And we're just a really a small part of all that.
I think that sometimes as parents of children with special needs, we've gone out and attended things that were difficult or not creative for our children to do. And so sometimes there's a little bit of hesitation. So I would just say don't hesitate. Come out, enjoy the equipment, enjoy the community, and get to know your new adaptive sports family, right?
Yeah,
You just meet
yeah.
these people and they become your friends. And so it's wonderful.
Ultimately, we're trying to be the example of what it means to provide those opportunities. As a Parks and Recreation professional, as a department, we're on the mission of enhancing quality of life for our community. Recognizing the power that parks and recreation and sport can have and its ability to enhance quality of life for our community, we don't want that to be lost on anybody. And so we're dedicated every day to ensuring that nobody in our community is left behind when it comes to experiencing the power of parks and the power of sport and the power of recreation, because we know how it can change someone's life for the better, and we don't want anybody to not be able to experience that. Count us down.
1, 2, 3.
We love adaptive sports.